I want to welcome Elizabeth Hollis to the KWMR airwaves. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, glad to be here. How are
Yeah.
you?
Good. Well, I guess we get to talk on the radio about once a year. So here we
I
are
guess so.
back to talk about Western Weekend. And you are on the organizing crew and have been the one who sort of oversees, basically makes things happen in the parking area yard of Toby's Feed Barn, where the food is served right after the parade. So let's talk about what is planned for that space. I know the yard itself has changed over the years.
The yard has changed, and the participants in the yard have grown over the years. I started getting involved with Western Weekend because I managed the farmers market a long time ago, and I had some experience sort of logistically navigating different vendors in that space. So I wanted to help out with Western Weekend as well because we were adding, the tacos and the 4-H desserts and just getting really crowded in there and wanting to have a little bit more room to maneuver and sort of intention about where people are being placed. So I've been doing it for a few years now, and this is the biggest year yet. I'm super
Ooh.
excited about all the food that's happening and all the nonprofit groups. We've had a lot of additional volunteer support this year, which has been amazing. I especially want to say thanks to Denise Rocco Zilber, who has been coordinating a lot of these nonprofit groups. And Justine Quatlander and Mariana Bustamante have been really helpful in helping kind of bring together the ideas and get people involved and get, more hands involved and just on the ground doing stuff, which is so, so helpful and appreciated. So this year we have more stuff to do because of all that extra effort. Um, so yeah, let's talk about food. We've got sort of the classic familiar faces. The famous Farm Bureau chicken barbecue is back. They're bringing their chickens and all their fixins, and really excited about that. It makes the whole day smell pretty fantastic.
Yes, it
Um,
does.
and then to Tamales High School, the class of 2026, so the incoming seniors next year are going to be doing tacos to raise money for their senior, I think it's for their senior trip. And that's always super popular. Taco lines stretch out to the street every year. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then, of course, the Rotary is going to have their chili booth. That's always very popular, and the chili goes quick. So if you're interested in that, get to it early. And then we have Paper Mill Creek doing a raw oyster bar this year, which is a little bit fresh and new. So we'll have fresh oysters shucked by Paper Mill. And then the 4-H crew is back doing their desserts, sort of bake sale style, brownies, cookies, and pies. And then this year we're going to have Strauss also in the food corral area doing ice cream. So that's where you're going to look for them inside Toby's this year instead of out on the street.
Well, that's good because the hardware store is now open on the weekends, building supply, which is great. But we used to take up all their space when they were closed.
Exactly. So we're going to shift that over, give them some breathing room, and have all the food kind of in one place there.
Oh, that sounds great. So that, and are you expanding off onto the bark as well, where they have all this great photo mural all around the inside of Toby's yard now?
Exactly. We're gonna actually have some seating over there, so it'll be a nice place for people to sit and kind of be out of the middle, out of people standing in line, and be able to check out that awesome mural that's up at Toby's.
Yeah, well, that sounds good. So, I know for over the years we've talked about getting more nonprofits involved, and really the theme this year is celebrating the people that work on the land and support those people as well. And the nonprofits out here in West Marin do a lot of things that municipalities do in other places because we are in the unincorporated part of the county. But who's stepped up to be part of the nonprofit crew, Elizabeth?
Well, we've got an eclectic mix of folks this year, which is probably fitting because there's quite an eclectic mix of folks out here in West Marin supporting Western Weekend. So we'll get to see a little bit of everybody. But we've got a lot of familiar faces, Zero Waste Marin and Recology helping us with waste stations and sorting and compostable materials and just making sure that we stay a zero waste event because that's super important and we want to make sure we're honoring what we say we're going to do. And then this year we've also got extrafood.org, which is kind of a gleaning food sharing organization. They'll be there tabling, letting us know some more about what they do. Marin Mosquito Vector Control is back. They've been there for several years in a row. They do super important work and they can tell you all about it, but they bring this really cool display that's got like live mosquito larvae in it and some cool, lots buttons and stickers for the kids. It's a really fun booth and super informative. I learned a lot about what they do just by talking to them and looking at their setup. And it's one of the things that you don't think about, but if it wasn't here and they weren't monitoring mosquito populations, it could be really bad. So they're an important group and they have fun at Western Weekend and we're happy to have them back. Fire Safe Marin is coming to help us all prepare for fire season. It talks more about what they can do to help. Environmental Action Committee of West Marin is one of our sponsors this year, and they'll be there tabling. And then we've got some additional ones that are a little bit more interesting, kind of fun outreachy stuff that we haven't necessarily had in the past. We've got the Drake Navigators Guild, which is a nonprofit that talks about Drake's navigation to the West Coast, and they have some fun kids activities and some interesting information, and they'll be there to support sort of having fun things for kids to do. And then we're also going to have the Cheese Trail this year. They're a new group. Vivian Strauss started the Cheese Trail to support and highlight small cheese producers in West Marin and Sonoma County, but in my understanding, it has expanded to be a California-wide sort of promotion and celebration of small business and value-added agriculture. So I'm really excited to have her there. CLAM, housing in West Marin, affordable housing in West Marin, super important. I'm really excited to see them there and they'll be able to talk about what's going on and probably have a lot of information. And then the West Marin Scholarship Fund is going to join us. Very excited about that. They've been supporting youth in West Marin for a long time. And I'm excited to see their table. And then the West Marin Fund is back. They always have a beautiful sort of tabling outreach section, and they are also one of our sponsors this year. So super thanks to them. And then the West Marin Inverness Parent Teacher Student Association, the PTSA, will be there with some fun photo booth activities and a raffle and just bring in some energy and excitement to
Yeah,
the
those
day.
guys are on fire. They're just doing the coolest stuff. The PTSA. I'm so
Yeah.
impressed. They're awesome. And KWMR will be there. We'll be by the grandstand, but we will have some information and our program guides and things like that. So you'll see a little table while we're working away, making sure that we record everything and make sure there's some good tunes for folks to dine to after the parade. And so make sure you stop by and say hi to us as well.
Awesome. I've got, there's always room for more. If anyone is interested in joining us, a nonprofit organization, wants to table or do some outreach, please let me or Denise know. We'd be happy to talk to you about how to fit you in. And there's, a couple more, there's always ideas happening about how to highlight um, different aspects of agriculture in West Marin. It's not just, dairy cows. There's a thriving fiber shed. There's aquaculture. There's, vegetables, beef, all kinds of different things that um, make up sort of the agricultural community of West Marin. So there's more ideas in the works about how to highlight and celebrate those who labor on the land and all the innovative, sort of interesting things that farmers and ranchers in West Marin have been doing historically and are doing now and will be doing in the future.
Yes, for sure. And I just want to run through the premier sponsors for everyone to know who puts in some larger sponsorship dollars, which really helps us to pay for the things that we have to pay for. And I will tell you that there are a lot of things that we don't pay for, like Elizabeth's time and all the other volunteers. But we do have to pay for things like porta potties. And this year's premier sponsors are Strauss Family Creamery, Brazella Tile and Stone, Hydron Meadery, Point Reyes Farmstead Cheese Company, Brick Maiden Breads, Point Reyes Good Luck Fund, and Marin Agricultural Land Trust. And what really makes Western Weekend happen is the West Marin Lions Club. They are the organization at the core of this and hold the insurance for the event. And they are in partnership with the Agricultural Institute of Marin. The county of Marin does so much with Marin County Sheriff, Marin County Fire, Marin County Parks, Marin County Department of Public Works, Dance Palace Community and Cultural Center, Gallery Route 1, KWMR, Marin County 4-H, the Marin Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Point Reyes Light, Rotary Club of West Marin, Toby's Feed Barn, and West Marin Commons create and support the Western Weekend Committee. It's a collaborative group effort. And if you are interested in getting involved in Western Weekend in any way, you can reach out to us. There is a website now, which I think is really helpful, and you can email through that website. It's westernweekend.org is the website. Elizabeth, anything else that comes to mind that we need to share with the peeps?
I just, bring the energy. Parade entries are still open, so please consider doing a float. Anything can be a parade float. If you want to just gather some friends and walk, and make some signs, that works too. So, check out the website for sure. It's constantly updated and it's got fresh information and it's got the new flyer up and everything. So, go to the website for more information and yeah, just reach out. We'd love to include everybody.
Yeah, so westernweekend.org, that's where you can also pull down your parade entry form and get a hold of anybody you might need to get a hold of. And there are things happening on Saturday. The 4-H events are not happening on Saturday of Western Weekend. They're going to be later in June. But there will be a Wild West Farmers Market from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Toby's on Saturday, an agricultural photography exhibit, which we'll learn more about, Artists in the School exhibit at Toby's Gallery, and the Barn Dance at the Dance Palace, hosted by West Marin Commons from at 6:30 p.m. The Grand Marshal and Junior Grand Marshal introductions, and at 7 o'clock is the dance. And then Sunday's event, the parade is at high noon. Food will be kicking off around 11:30 in the corral that Elizabeth explained so well, and that nonprofit corral. And then there is a reception. The Gallery Route 1 Artists in the Schools from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Toby's on Sunday as well. So come on out. And Elizabeth, thank you so much for all your time and work put into this event. And I look forward to seeing you on Western Weekend.
It'll be a great time. Looking forward to it.
Thanks.